The rain hammered against the windows, mimicking the rhythm of my pounding heart. The silence in the house was thick, heavy with the unspoken. I sat at the kitchen table, my coffee gone cold, the steam from the mug mirroring the wispy tendrils of smoke rising from my cigarette. It was the third one in an hour, and I knew it wouldn't be the last. It had started with the usual argument. A misplaced bill, a forgotten birthday, a simple misunderstanding that snowballed into a full-blown eruption. We'd been married for 15 years, and the fights had become a predictable dance, a routine we both dreaded but couldn't seem to break free from. "You never listen to me," she'd screamed, her voice sharp like shards of glass. "You're always on your phone, you're never present." Her words were like a physical blow, each syllable a fresh wound. I knew she was right. My phone was a shield, a refuge from the mounting pressure of work, the ever-growing list of tasks and responsibilities that seemed to consume my life. But I hadn't meant to shut her out. It had just happened, gradually, like the slow creep of moss on a stone. "I'm trying, Sarah," I'd said, my voice barely a whisper. "I really am." But my words rang hollow, even to my own ears. The chasm between us, once a gentle crack in the foundation, had become a gaping abyss. The rain had been falling for hours now, a relentless downpour that seemed to mirror the turmoil inside me. I thought about our early years, the honeymoon phase, the heady days of falling in love, the future we'd dreamt of building together. We had been so young, so optimistic, so full of hope. I took another drag from my cigarette, the smoke swirling around my face like a ghostly shroud. We had built a life, a family. Emily, our daughter, was turning 10 next week. I thought about the picture on the fridge, a photo of Emily and Sarah, their faces beaming with joy at a local festival. They looked so happy, so carefree. It seemed like a lifetime ago. "What's wrong, Dad?" Emily's voice, small and innocent, pierced the silence. She stood in the doorway, her eyes wide and apprehensive, her hand clutching her favorite stuffed bear. I looked at her, at the innocent trust in her eyes, at the way she looked at me, as if I were a superhero capable of fixing any problem. I felt a sharp pang of guilt, a deep ache in my chest, I said, trying to force a smile. "Just thinking about work." She came closer, her gaze fixed on the cigarette in my hand. "That's bad for you, Dad." "I know," I said, putting it out in the ashtray. "I'm trying to quit." She was silent for a moment, then, with a look of determination in her eyes, she pulled out a small, hand-painted card from her pocket. "I made this for you, Dad. I love you." I took the card, its paper thin and fragile, and held it up to the light. It was simple, a drawing of a stick figure holding hands with a smaller one, a heart drawn between them. But those 3 words, scrawled in her shaky handwriting, held a weight heavier than any stone. I looked at her, at the child who was growing up so fast, whose innocent eyes held the reflection of a world so much bigger than she could understand. And I knew, with a clarity that pierced through the fog of my self-pity, that I had to change. For her, for Sarah, for myself. The next morning, I woke up with a renewed sense of purpose. I went to the kitchen and saw Sarah, already brewing coffee. She looked tired, her eyes red, her face drawn. But when she saw me, a flicker of something that seemed like hope, crossed her face. "Good morning," I said, my voice stronger than it had been in weeks. "Can I help with anything?" She hesitated, then smiled, a small, tentative smile that still held the sparkle of the woman I had fallen in love with. "Yes, actually." "Could you make the pancakes?" As I made the pancakes, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. It wasn't the end of our problems, but it was a step in the right direction. A step towards rebuilding the bridge that had been slowly crumbling, a step towards being the husband and father I knew I could be. The rain had stopped, and the sun was peeking through the clouds. I looked at Emily, who had just woken up, her sleep-mussed hair framing her face like a halo. She was eating pancakes, her eyes bright with happiness. I knew that things would be hard, that there would be more challenges, more fights, more tears. But now, I had a new perspective. I had a new purpose, a new reason to fight for the family I loved, for the woman I had vowed to cherish forever. And that, I knew, would be enough.